wet Tennessee. All right, let's see if y'all can see me and the computer works. And hey, what do you know? I'll remember to hit mute. That'd be a good idea. All right, there's my computer. I can see me. If y'all can hear me, we're doing good. So let's see. Jacob, Robert, Silver Possum. Nice. Pennsylvania Mama Bear, Healthy Disrespect. Who's the daddy? Okay, cool. Y'all can hear me. So, all right. Well, I guess probably most of us somewhere out east or down south are getting wet, and looks like it's going to continue for a while. We're supposed to actually get some heavy rain tonight. I guess starting about 2 in the morning until like noon tomorrow. So somewhere to the tune. I mean, heavy rain. What I consider heavy rain is if it maxes out my pipe. Okay, so somewhere between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch an hour here over the course of the evening, which when it all comes down the hill does me good. So I'm happy about that. So apparently a bunch of you guys saw my afternoon video today while Mrs. P was in the store. It was funny, as after we did that, we were in Knoxville today. Okay, we had some errands to run that we had to go in the city for. And we figured, okay, while we're there, we'll go into Kroger and do some grocery shopping there, because Kroger usually has better prices than the Food City or the Ingles up by us, the more regional, smaller grocery chains. Talk about doing a freaking double take when we walked into Kroger today. I kid you not, the price of everything. I don't care if you were talking about vegetables, you were talking about cheese, milk, lunch meat, whatever it would be. At least $1 more expensive than the last time we went to the grocery store. I looked at these prices. I'm like, I mean, I even said to the cashier, I said, "Are you freaking kidding me with these prices?" And she's like, I know. And I said, "I know it's not your fault." I said, "I know you probably hear it from everybody. I mean, that it's just ridiculous. I mean, we hardly bought anything." I was like, this is a freaking national debt, but, as I bid my fair dues to the cashier, I said, "Thanks, Joe," because that's pretty much what, good old Joe's doing. I got a kick out of Joe today. He's got more important things to do in Arizona, like go down to the border. I guess there was an ice cream shop opening up in Tucson or something like that, but yeah, why bother with that? But yeah, interesting. Couple of interesting things in the news last night, today, if you guys saw it. I guess the French are in the middle of a massive gun buyback or gun turn-in or whatever, which I get a kick out of. It's like, there's 6 million illegal guns in France, and we're going to give amnesty to anybody that turns them in. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, how'd that work about 80 years ago when you were unarmed and a fascist organization came marching into Paris? It didn't turn out too well for you. Fast forward 80 years, let's do the same thing. Let's be unarmed and let the entire fascist EU come marching in. Dumbass. They're skinny jeans wearing Macron, so, elect woke leaders, get woke policies. Get woke, go dumb. Or if you guys all know the story from a couple of years ago about the baker that refused to bake a cake, right? If you know that, remember that story? And that went all the way up to the Supreme Court. Now there's another case in front of the Supreme Court where same thing, where a website designer does not want to design wedding websites for same-sex couples because it's against her religion. And of course, this one's in front of the Supreme Court because the liberals are going completely batshit about this, saying, you can't do this, you can't do this. Until today, okay, when you have a restaurant in Virginia known as in Richmond. For all those of you guys that live in Richmond, if you know Metzger's Bar and Butchery, okay, this is the restaurant, refused to serve. A group made of 15 to 20 people made a reservation 2 weeks ago for a group of 15 to 20 people to come in. They were a Christian group. 90 minutes before the reservation, Metzger canceled their reservation and said their kind isn't welcome there. So Metzger Bar and Butchery has now decided Christians are not welcome in their restaurant. Okay. You'd think this would be the same thing, right? Hey, oh my God, we're completely... No, the liberals are out there going, well, this is great. This is the way it should be. Wait a minute. You bitch when there's a baker. You bitch when there's a website developer going against, saying that they should go against their religious views to do something. But when a religious group comes in and says they want to eat dinner, oh no, that can't happen. Think there isn't a war on Christianity? There it is, black and white for you guys. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on, the double standard. It's as long as you do our stuff, hey, agree with us, it's perfectly fine. As long as if you disagree, oh my God, no. Which kind of goes into, if you guys caught this one, the NDAA, all right, the defense spending. It's got to get put into the budget, the biggest line item budget deal of Washington. They've got to come up with the defense spending by the end of the year. Otherwise, the military has no budget for next year. I don't know. It's just something little going on over in Europe right now, right? But so they're trying to get this through. And I told you about the Democrats throwing the baby out with the bathwater before they lose the House. Obviously, they're not going to lose the Senate no matter what happens in Georgia today, because even in best case scenario, it's 50-50 still. And, then you get the cackling hen who's the deciding vote. So however that goes. So with the defense spending bill, the thing that the Democrats first tried to get attached to this was the JCPA, okay, which basically is the whole media cartel bill, all right? Where basically the media can't publish anything without government permission or whatever would be, as long as it toes the party line. Otherwise, the media companies, all this sort of crap. And then they tried to add in, mind you, this is adding on to the defense spending bill. Tried to add in a marijuana reform law to the defense spending bill. Okay. Like that has anything to do, we got to let a bunch of these convicted marijuana dealers or whatever out of jail because, that has something to do with how many bullets the infantry gets. I don't know, whatever it would be. Believe it or not, y'all know me. When somebody does something right, I will give them credit for it, even if they're an idiot leftist. For once, we actually have to say thank you to, of all people, Mark Zuckerberg. Because Zuckerberg came out today and said, if the JCPA passes, Facebook will not allow any news on Facebook anymore. Now, obviously, it's a hollow threat because, of course, Facebook wants the news because they need that revenue, that advertising that they get from ABC, CBS, MSNBC, whatever the hell it is, that generates too. Well, this freaked out the Democrats going, oh, you mean we can't pass this and just have our side of the story told? So apparently the JCPA addendum is being nixed from the NDAA, which that's a good thing. Okay. But I'm just like, the audacity of Congress to start attaching, we know they attach stupid stuff, but really, a marijuana reform bill attached to defense spending? Come on, it's a stretch. God. Yeah. And then, of course, like I said earlier, we've got the Warnock-Walker results, which might come in sometime, I don't know, in the next week. But the polls are closing, so we'll see what happens. But who knows? I'm not overly concerned about it because, frankly, it means nothing. Okay. Even if like I said, even if it's 50-50, it doesn't matter. Schumer's still going to be the House majority, the Senate majority leader. And it doesn't make a lick of difference, but who knows? So, yeah, just we've already come to realization we got at least 2 more years of stupidity. Well, no, we got forever of stupidity running this country, but we've got at least 2 more years of asinine stupidity running this country. We'll see what happens then. But, and then of course you had the Trump thing today in New York. The verdict came down on a couple of the Trump businesses, and I guess a couple of the guys that were running it were found guilty on all counts. Of course, even in court, they said Trump has nothing to do with this. The Trump family has nothing to do with this, but the media is spinning this as Trump found guilty. Trump isn't even part of the lawsuit. This was some guy who was supposedly cheating on his taxes, but he was an executive at one of the Trump organization things. But of course, the media is spinning this all about Trump. Who knows? You know, personally, I think Trump just needs to ride off into the sunset and let's move on. But we'll see what happens. Who knows? You know, my opinion. Take it or leave it. That's it. I'm entitled to mine. You're entitled to yours. The end. All right. Let's get into this evening's fun after you get to hear me ramble for a few minutes. But that's the latest stuff going on. So for all those of you that are old hat at this, go get your beer. Yes, we're drinking Yingling Light Lager tonight. How about that one? It was on sale today. It's one thing that was cheap in the store. It was $1 a can. I'll take that. Got 2. That heavy drinking I do. And yeah, this is the first one and the only one for the day. So, but okay, so this is how we do it, guys. For those of you that are new, this Tuesdays and Saturdays are totally about you guys. It's your chance to ask me questions, ask each other questions, chance for the family to get together, fellowship, community, converse. That's why I put this thing up 4 or 5 hours early, and some of you guys are in here 4 or 5 hours early talking, which I think is great. You know, if you want to do that more regularly, go over to Freesteading. You guys can chat all you want, anytime you want in there. But, you know, simple as that. If you have a question for me, please put it in all caps, just like every other YouTube channel. Just makes it a whole lot easier for me to find the comments, the questions. There's 1,500 of you guys in here. There's one of me. Okay. So just, I don't have to read everything, and we can get through more questions that way. The one thing I do demand, and I say this every time, please treat each other with respect. Disagreement, you know, difference of opinion is totally fine. I get that. It'd be a real boring life if we all thought the same. Okay. However, being rude about it, you know, oh, you're an effing idiot. That's, you know, no, that stuff doesn't fly. And the moderators in here will take care of you quite well. I mean, most of my mods have been with me pretty close to since the advent of the channel. So 2+ years experience modding just this channel. Yeah, they are pretty good at what they do. So, you know, a great thank you to the mods for all being here again tonight. And, you know, for all you guys, you know, please thank them for keeping this a safe and fun place to be that doesn't have all the spam and the scammers and everything like that in it. So that being said, all right, let us get into questions here. I will get back to the top and see what's going on depending on where we are. So going into it, let's see. Scan. Elaine Prudence's butter was $7.50. Crazy. Yeah. Prices we saw today that were just ridiculous. Avocados were $2 a piece. That was, I mean, 6 months ago, we were getting avocados for like 89 cents a piece. A head of lettuce here was $4.99. For a freaking head of iceberg lettuce, $4.99. Are you high? Okay. Regular cucumbers were 69 cents. Bananas were 65 cents. And I was off running doing something else, and Mrs. P picked up a couple other things or whatever it is. But, you know, we were talking on the way home. It's, you know, this time of year you want fresh vegetables. You don't have them out of the the garden. I mean, it's December. We're not going to get it. So, you're trying to buy it or whatever. But we're talking, it's like, yeah, the availability of fresh vegetables may disappear here pretty soon. But prices, I, as I was saying to her, I mean, I don't get how some people can make ends meet at this point. If you're making $10 an hour or something, or $8 an hour or whatever, I don't get it. How the hell you can uh, afford food? I mean, let alone everything else. And, I understand where people say, well, we need to get paid more. Okay, I agree. But the problem that you have with something like that is the more that the company has to pay you, the more they got to charge for everything else. And it's a perpetual spiral upwards. Again, it goes back to that argument all the time that people make is you can't expect to be in the same job and making more. You've got to progress. You've got to get promoted, or you've got to get more skills, go somewhere else. You don't take a job saying, would you like fries with that? And figure 10 years from now, you're still going to be saying, would you like fries with that? You hope by now you're a shift manager or a store manager or something like that. That's the way it used to work. You worked your way up in a company. But to make more money, now people just, I wish I had an answer, okay, to what we can do for this, but we're getting really quick to making the poor equal the middle class like they want. This is bringing up the poor to the middle class. No, it's not. It's bringing us all down to being poor. Uh, Somebody said in the comment on my video this afternoon that, well, the people with a lot of money will always be able to buy food. I don't know about anybody else, but I ain't a 1%er. Okay. So, the rest of us are getting brought down. And the one other, and I want to dispel this because I see this one often, and it's somewhat of a misunderstanding. People say, we all hear about the price of food going up. We never hear about who's making more money with it. And the answer to that one is nobody's making more money with it. Again, this is how an economy works. The less product there is, the more stuff costs. Okay, there's more competition, supply and demand. But put it this way. If the store sells bananas for 10 cents a piece and they sell 20 bananas, the store gets $2 in revenue. If the store only gets 10 bananas this week, so they sell them for 20 cents a piece, the store still gets $2 in revenue. They're not making any more money. Just less people are getting bananas. That's what's going on. I got off on a little tangent on that, but okay. Krista J., Columbus, Ohio City Council passed gun laws today. Okay, I haven't seen anything about it, but my first question is, okay, have the attorneys already gone to court? Because pretty much basically gun laws are all unconstitutional. Beth, thank you for the super chat. Depending on what they're going to do. What never makes sense to me, okay, and again, I'm not professing to disarm the people. I'm just calling out stupidity. The Constitution, the Second Amendment says the right to bear arms, right? The Constitution says nothing about the right to bear ammunition. If I was one of these idiot Democrats, I wouldn't be going after the guns. I'd be going after the ammunition. Without ammunition, a gun's pretty much a hammer, okay? But none of them ever think about that. You want to do something? Tax ammunition, or stop making primers, or whatever it would be. That might have a chance of standing up in court, but no, we need to take your guns away. Sorry, it ain't going to happen. And I know I'm not trying to give them ideas, but it's squirrel cage. Tracy Bunny 38. Why are gas prices dropping? I'm not complaining, but it's kind of spooky. I know we're getting into the economic stuff again, and I don't mean to get wonky on you guys, but I talked about the dollar index a week or so ago, and the dollar index has gone from about 115 down to 104. The dollar is getting weaker. That is what's bringing our prices down. When the dollar starts getting stronger again, you can expect to see prices go up. I mean, we're oversold for the dollar right now, and so it's going to come back up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. I mean, I saw $2.99 a gallon of gas yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, because I was in Tazewell. I was like, holy crap, it's under $3. Haven't seen that in forever. But you know, it's like our GDP. Okay, remember the first 2 quarters of the year we had negative GDP, and everybody said definition of recession. We're there, and Congress kept on saying, you know, no, maybe not, et cetera, et cetera. And then third quarter GDP came out, and third quarter GDP was positive, and they're like, see, no recession. The third quarter GDP was up, okay, was positive because the dollar got weaker. That was, and because we paid off some of the debt with that weak, you know, with weaker dollars and things like that. We didn't produce anymore. I mark my words, when fourth quarter GDP comes out, it'll be negative. I'm just telling you right now, count on that one. We will see negative GDP and everybody's going to go, how did that happen? Trust me on this one. You know, no, I'm not going to eat my hat if I'm wrong, but I'm not going to be wrong either. 37 degrees north. I planted garlic in October, zone 6. Now it has 3-inch green tops. I went out and looked at my garlic today. I was going over to check the pond out, and I figured, well, and my garlic, which I just put in around Thanksgiving, okay, it's probably half an inch, 2/3 of them are about a half inch out of it. That's fine. You're in zone 6. I'm in zone 6B. Okay. Your garlic's fine. It'll handle the winters. No big deal. It can handle snow, anything. Just that's good. I mean, last year when I planted my garlic, by the time it got cold by Christmas, I had 6-inch stalks on my garlic already, and I had fantastic garlic this year. So, perfect. No worries. Everything's going just like it should. Okie Forge, whatever happened to we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone? Yeah, that disappeared with the Civil Rights Act. Okay. I mean, that again goes back to discrimination and all this sort of stuff. You know, then it turned into no shirt, no shoes, no service. Okay. Which that was fine. But the right to reserve service to anyone was blatantly discriminatory. I mean, it was, we don't want your kind here. And, you know, that got tossed out real quick. You know, which again, you think about it, and how I get the reasons for the baker and the web designer and stuff like that. Okay. Sometimes I think it's overblown what they do, but the restaurant one makes no sense to me. You know, they're paying customers. You're turning away paying customers. There ain't a whole lot of businesses right now that can afford to turn away paying customers. The margins in restaurants are teeny tiny. Okay. Turn away 20 customers. That's a lot. Okay. I remember there were times I worked, and God, this was, when the hell was this? 1990, maybe. I was working at a Red Lobster. I'd bartend sometimes, I'd wait tables sometimes. There were sometimes we have a lunch shift. We wouldn't get 20 customers all afternoon. I mean, and you go home and go, cool, I made my $2.13 an hour, and I made $2 in tips today. That was a good use of my 6-hour shift, you know, because that's, you know, a table of 20 come in, a 20 top. Woohoo! I'm there. You know, I'm going to make $50. You know, who the restaurants screw? Well, themselves, because now their name's out in public as being a anti-Christian company, and they screwed their staff. Not smart business. Yeah, Beautiful Day brought this up. I forgot about this at the top. Prayers for Alaska Granny. Her husband passed away today. I saw that earlier. So, yes, unfortunately, that happened. I mean, death and taxes, we all know. Okay. It just sucks that it happens all the time. So keep Alaska Granny in your prayers tonight. Let's see. Jeffrey S. Minnesota has $17 billion surplus with all three governors, House, and state Democratic. How do you think that's going to play out in a month? I don't know. Are we going to be giving Ilhan Omar's district reparations? Do you guys have some sort of ice bridge that needs to be built somewhere for a couple of $1 billion? Somehow, some way, come back to me in a year and you'll tell me, well, we have no more surplus. Not that Minnesota hasn't been Democratic for a while, but yeah. But notice Minnesota is losing population like crazy too. And I don't think it's the weather. Not like cold winters and a lot of snow surprise anybody when they go, hey, honey, let's move to Minnesota. I hear it's beautiful up there. It is. I've been up there. It's a very beautiful state. Just you better be prepared for a lot of snow. Farm Girl, am I taking advantage of the senior citizen discount on Tuesdays at Kroger? No, because I'm not a senior citizen. So it doesn't work. I'm not that old, guys. Justin Mitchell, did I hear about the $1.1 million killed by Des Moines, birds killed by Des Moines? Yeah, I mean, it's this bird flu crap, guys. And that's the problem because the way it spreads, one bird gets it and they've got to cull everything, and because it spreads so quickly, But again, it's so convenient how this works. Nice. Hey, let's get rid of another million chickens. Not that there aren't billions of chickens in this country, but we look. There was another one. We were in a store at Kroger today. I looked, chicken breast, $5.44 a pound. What kind of drugs are you on? Not happening. My McIntyre said we need a line item veto. Line item veto does no good when you've got all the same party all the way across the board. Okay, because Pelosi and Schumer and Biden are three peas in a pod. No big deal. It's not like he's going to go, gee, you know what, Chuck? I disagree with this part. Joe's not smart enough to. Joe can't read the bill that's in front of him. Okay, he's certainly not going to do anything like that. Line item veto would work well, if you go back to the Reagan era or something like that, where you had Reagan as president, but Tip O'Neill running Senate, stuff like that, contra parties, and then you could do it. Then it would make sense, but right now it just never be used. Vester Dillon, I'm thinking about getting a grow light for leaf lettuce, peppers, etc. for the winter months. Okay, now, because of the two things that you mentioned, what you mentioned there, leaf lettuce and peppers, you don't need but two different grow lights. To get peppers, you're going to need the ultraviolet and infrared light. So the ones that you see that look like they're purple, those are the lights you're going to need. To grow leaf lettuce, you just need a white light. Okay, like the ones I showed you a couple of years ago that I used for my seed starting. If a plant does not fruit, if you're eating the greens, you don't need the infrared and ultraviolet light. You just need the white light. If it fruits, you need the entire spectrum. So depending on what you're going to do, you save yourself some money rather than buy two of the purple lights. You could buy one purple light for peppers and one white light for lettuce. Just saying, don't throw away money. J. Thomas Reset, upland rice. Know anything about it? I've never heard of it. Supposedly can be grown in the garden. The only thing I know about growing rice is you're literally growing it in a puddle. Okay, you need to have, I mean, a puddle, literally standing water. Okay, so I growing it. If there's a type of rice that you don't grow that way, it's fine. But the thing, again, the thing I'm going to look at that, right? Rice is still super cheap. Okay, even though the price of it's nearly doubled, it's still cheap if you go on a dollar per pound basis and how much food you can get out of it, or dollar per calorie. It's a hell of a lot easier just to buy your rice and cheaper. Okay, how much work, fertilizer, everything like that are you going to have to do and to get yourself a pound of homegrown rice? I'd rather go to Walmart and pick up a 25-pound bag and say I'm done. Sometimes you have to take into account what you're growing by what your time is worth. How much effort am I going to have to put in here? How much is it going to cost me if you're on city water, how much is it going to cost me to water that plant? How much is it going to cost me to fertilize that plant? How much is it going to cost me in my time to tend to that plant? Is it cost efficient to grow it, or is it cost efficient to buy it? Sometimes you're close enough to break even. Sometimes even if it's not cost efficient, you want to grow it, for quality of food or availability or anything like that. I mean, those are different things we all have to take into consideration because it's different for everybody. Running water, the price of shrimp is exactly the same or lower. It's hamburger meat that's jacked up. Yeah, what do we get today? We got a 2-pound bag of tilapia. Before anybody gets on me about tilapia, I know. Okay, but at least it's some fish, and I need some fish in my diet. And it's gone up from $9.99 to $10.99. Well, it's gone up to $12.99, but it was on sale for $10.99. Okay, that's only a 10% increase. Oh, gee, Joe, what was that? 8% inflation? No, this was a good one. It was only 10. But yeah, seafood doesn't seem to have been affected as much, probably because we don't have to pay anything to raise it. We just got to pay to catch it. Christian prepper, I started making my own bread. It's much cheaper than buying it. Oh yeah, absolutely it is. It's just a matter of whether or not somebody's got the time to do it. And I know there's people, well, a bag of flour cost me this and the baking soda cost me this. Yeah, and you're using a couple of cups of flour, not the whole bag, and you're certainly not using all the baking soda or the baking powder or whatever it would be. But you see these stories. Somebody did a video on it the other day saying they were having a debate with somebody who said it's cheaper to go to the store or go to a restaurant than it is to cook at home. Really? No. Jersey prepper, I really have no question that hasn't been asked already. Just want to say God bless you all, and I wish and pray for your good fortune for you and peace and for you all. Peace and love be with you. Well, thank you, and same to you, the same. And I think I can speak for everybody and say thank you from everybody to you. All right, let's go into trivia time. Here it's 8:33, and I don't want to get too far into this, so I'm going to go all the way to the bottom here. I'm going to remind everybody real quick. We're on a 90-second timeout, so you only get one comment, and then you got to wait 90 seconds again. So I'm going to kind of tell you what we do here. If you want to participate, my suggestion would be don't comment right now, because when I ask the question, if you still got to wait 30 seconds, somebody else might have already got the answer. So I'd say probably stop commenting. It's up to you. Okay. For those who've been around, we still got 4 more envelopes here with God knows what in them. This is what Mrs. P and I are doing for everybody for Christmas in lieu of the 100,000 subscriber thing. We thought we were going to get there by Christmas. It doesn't look like it. We'll be close, but 93 is close enough. I'd rather have you have this stuff by Christmas. This is a culmination. This is not sponsors. This is not anything like that. This is what you guys have donated to me, through super chats and stuff like that. And we're giving it back to the community and prizes and stuff like that. So that's where this comes from. All right. You guys know me. I don't do affiliates. I don't do sponsorships, nothing like that. I got a company today that's like, oh, we want to send you this generator for review and everything. We just need this and this and this. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing contracts. And no, you're not getting my phone number. And no, you're not getting my well, we need that. You're not getting it. Simple as that. And I said, oh, by the way, your generator is also $500 more than your competitors for the same wattage. Wouldn't be recommending it. Don't bother. That's some of the stuff behind the scenes that you don't see. Some of these negotiations where companies think, you know, oh my God, every YouTuber out there is going to be thrilled. I mean, I can't tell you how many of these we'll pay you $700 to put a short 24-second clip at the beginning of your video. Like, no, I don't do sponsorships. I don't do affiliate links. And no, your $700 doesn't mean shit to me. I'm not selling my soul for your company, period. Okay, off that speech. So that's what this is. This is from us. And makes a little bit of fun. So how I'm doing this is this is trivia for how well y'all have been paying attention. This is all questions about me that I have told you guys in videos here over the last few months. I'm not saying, oh, this is going to be a trivia question. Here it is. It's just, did you pay attention? Okay. Some of them have been a little easy. The last one seemed to be a little difficult. And I'm trying to make them a little bit more difficult for the simple reason that because of the delay that some of you guys have, that way somebody doesn't have an answer like that. Oh, still my head. But it seemed to work with the last one, okay? It was a minute or so before Lorna finally got the answer on the last one. So everybody had a chance to chime in. So that being said, so once the first person who gets the answer on my computer, my mods don't know the questions, nothing like that. That's why the mods are eligible for this too, okay? The first person who gets it, and I don't know if the comments all show up in the same order on your computer as they do on mine. It only matters on mine. This guy's the judge. All judges' decisions are final. The first person who gets it right will get to pick an envelope. There's 1 of 4 left, and we will open it here and see what they won. So, okay, that should give everybody a chance with the 90 seconds and whatever would be. So, tonight's question, and I will watch. What was the make and model of my first car? I thought about having you guys give me the year, but I figured that's a little ridiculous. Just the make and the model, but I do need both. So don't just say, and I didn't have a Camaro. Don't just say Camaro. It has to be Chevy Camaro, okay? It has to have both. All right, so I'm going to go through here. And I have said this in a video a couple of times. Model T. Go to hell, Joseph. Damn you. God. Oh, nobody's anywhere even close. Oh, see, it shoots up and I got to. All right, hang on, because it's going to take me a second because I've got to read through them all. Kenneth Swan. It wasn't a Ford Gremlin. It was American Motors made the Gremlin, but no, that wasn't it. Well, let me give you this. I'll give you guys a hint here because a Russian Yugo. No, Yugo was Yugoslavian. I will give you a tip here, guys. Nobody has even got the make right yet, let alone the model. So how about that? So if you want to go through, anybody look at it, it's not a Chevy, it's not a Ford, it's not a Studebaker. I hate when it shoots to the bottom. No, my dad worked for American Motors, but that was not my first car. But if you know anything of the history of the company, that might be a tip. Horse and buggy. All right, Angel Dupree, you're banned. God. Well, I obviously picked a good moldy soldier. You're banned too. Oh, okay, here we go. see. Obviously, this was a good question. Nobody can complain they didn't have time to hear the question today. That's for sure. Da, da, da. Boy, and I've given you guys a couple of good Ford Dodge. No. Giving you guys a couple of hints. I still have not seen the correct make yet. Well, it's a good thing I started this at 8:30. We only have a half an hour to find the winner here. Rolls-Royce Shadow. Sure. No problem. I got 3 of them. And now, of course, I got shot to the bottom again. Oh, come on, guys. I told you what this was. I told you when I drove it, everybody thought that it was like I didn't drive the car, I wore it. Don't you remember that comment? Tesla. My first car was a Tesla. No, my never car is a Tesla. I still have not seen the correct make. I'm going to have to give you guys a clue if we don't get anywhere. Flintstone mobile. Some of you guys are going to smart asses. No, 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 no. All right, I got to give you. Okay, I'm going to give you guys this clue. If you look at the history of American Motors, this is a company, the make is a company that aligned themselves with American Motors in the late 70s. Okay, I finally seen the first person who has the right make in there. I'm not going to say who because that wouldn't be fair to the rest of you, but one person has had the right make. I didn't think this was that hard. Okay, here's back where we were. Oh my God, come on, people. The Batmobile. No, okay, there's the second person who's got the make right, but I need the model of the car too. Rooster, the Titanic. AMC, it wasn't AMC that made the thing, that was Volkswagen. There's somebody else there's a third one I've seen get the make right. Fourth one. Okay, a few of you guys are on target with the make. Now you just got to figure out which car it was. Yeah, there's another one there. Let me go up a little higher, make sure. No, it wasn't. I wish my first car was an AMC Javelin. That would have been nice. Dad brought one home one time. It was a cool car. There's somebody that there's one person that's got the make and actually put a model in, but the model that they put in was after the one I had. Stanley Steamer. Jeez. Deuce and a half. All right, I'm going to give you, we got to move this. Oh, whoops, what did somebody say there? Hang on. Now you're going to make me do it again. All right, I'm going to give you a big clue. This is the last. Think France. But I got to go back up because I got shots at the bottom. Somebody might have already got it. I just haven't seen it yet, but trying to find where it. Well, this is as far up as I can go, so that's it. Roadrunner, that would have been nice. Well, I didn't think this was going to take this long. Need make and model, guys. So just saying the car maker is next. There it is, Cheney. That's close enough. That's one of the names for it. A Renault 5 or a Renault Le Car was my first car. Cheney has put Renault 5. There is our answer. God, thank you. All right, Cheney, you are the winner. A Renault 5 or a Renault Le Car. So, Cheney, you get to pick a number 2, 4, 6, or 9. So, guys, please give Cheney a second here to put their number in. If you guys can hold off on the comments so I can see it. There isn't the next question, Cronin. Cheney says 9. Okay. Envelope number 9. Jenny won. Gee, this should surprise a whole lot of people. A solar generator. So, Jenny, we will be sending you. We've got one of the Aviva solar generators that I got for you guys. If you would do me a favor and send me your name and address, I will mail this out to you. I'll send it UPS, just because I don't trust FedEx, and the post office has already screwed me once with stuff I sent, and they never delivered it a year later. I don't remember, Jacob, that was either you or Robert. One of the two of you got last year's Christmas card almost a year later. So I will send it UPS, but Cheney, email me your name and address. Email address is below the video there, pinballpreparedness@protonmail.com, and I will get that out to you this week. So, congratulations. All right, my first ride was a T-Rex. Boy, some of you guys just really want to be thrown out. Mods, what are you doing here? Kidding. I figure you guys are allowed to give me some shit sometimes too. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back as far as I can, and we're still in there. Renault didn't make K cars. That was Chrysler. Yeah, an AMC AMX. That would have been nice. And now a bunch of you guys are saying Renault Le Car. Well, after I give you the answer, it's easy. Okay. Okay. Trying to find questions. Big Dog Ma, how did I fit into that car? Did I drive it from the back seat? I mean, literally, if you remember, if it was a 1978. I had two of them, guys. I had my very first one was a yellow one, and then after I wrecked that one in an accident that was 5 miles an hour, and it was enough to total the car, I bought a second one, $500. Okay, but I mean, it was a great car. It had a 10-gallon gas tank. Gas was 99 cents a gallon when I was in high school, so it was $10 to fill my tank full of gas and go all over the place, right? But it had a sunroof in it, which was a vinyl sunroof. Literally, you just pulled it back. I kid you not. I could stretch up and look over the roof driving out the sunroof. I had, obviously, every vehicle I have the seat all the way back and stuff like that. And in my truck, somebody short can sit behind me, okay? In any car, forget it. Nobody's sitting behind me. But that one was, that was getting in the car, in and out of the car with the shoehorn. Like I said, people used to say I wore the car. I didn't drive it. Say Jack, woo, that was tense. Well, there's my solution for those of you that say that you got answers before you heard the question. Obviously, that was a good one. We all know your first ride was a T-Rex. No, actually, never mind. That was bad. There you go. Jay Myers says the same thing. Did it come with a shoehorn or a bucket of grease? Buzzard Prepper, can I call the Georgia race live here before the end of the chat? I doubt it. I don't think we'll know the results for a couple of days. Let's see. As of right now, see, this is how close it's going to be. As of right now, we have Herschel Walker at 50.86% and Raphael Warnock at 49.14%. And literally, you have maybe half of the counties that have look like they've been called of any sort. So I doubt it's going to happen. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I have this sickening feeling that Warnock, the charlatan he is going to win. Okay, not that Herschel Walker's any great candidate, but Warnock is he's a dirtbag. Somebody that uses religion to fleece other people is lower than dog shit on the bottom of my shoe. And that's exactly what this guy is. Oops, shot to the bottom again. Wow, it's 8:52. That took us 20 minutes. God. Johnny Finance. I was going to say LeCar, but I figured no way in hell. Like I said, two of them. They were great little cars. I mean, for a kid to, to work, to run, to insure, to put gas in, anything like that. I mean, it was great. Joel, thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate it. Let's see back where we go. Okay, here we were. Prepping for Heaven says we had two cars when our kids were small. Yeah, I mean, they were fine little cars. I mean, they weren't fancy. I mean, they were bare bones basic cars, but they started every morning. They were reliable, and if you knew how to drive a stick, they were fun cars to drive. Sheila J, have you ever noticed that store-bought bread never molds? Yes. Depending on the brand. I mean, you go in there and go, oh crap, that loaf of bread's a month old. You go in there and how the hell is this still white? It's like, oh, so there's no flour in it. It's just preservatives and water. Let's see. Radio Flyer. Fastball 2611. Do I believe the railroad workers will stage a sick out? I hope they do. Like I said, I don't want them to suffer, but I want the railroad companies to realize that there is value in those people. They aren't just, like so many companies treat their workers now, replaceable, because they're not. Lady Snickerdo, when looking for MAG members, what should be the top skills that should be covered? Trustworthiness, first off. Reliability. If you have, let me put it this way. When you're going to interview somebody for a MAG and you say, meet me at the coffee shop at 10 o'clock, and they show up at 10:05, they're out. Okay, that's it. If they can't show up on time, that tells you everything you need to know about their reliability. That'll be the guy that falls asleep on guard duty. That'll be the guy that bitches and moans about everything. Okay, you want to find people that are the first thing you want to hear from them what they're offering you. You do not want anybody in your mag where they come up, well, what can you do for me? No. You're asking to be, again, this is like a job offer or a job interview. What can you bring to the company? Not what can the company, a job interview never starts with, we pay $70,000. This is what the job is. This is what the job is. How do you fit in? And then we talk about it. Okay. Reliability, is the biggest key. Okay. And then what skills they have. Just because you already have somebody with, let's say, medical skills doesn't mean you don't want a second one, because what if the first guy gets sick or dies or whatever it would be, you got somebody else, okay? But, when they come and say, I don't have any skills, okay? Now you're going to start getting into somebody, what do you have in the way of a work ethic? And, of course, everybody says, I'm a hard worker. I'm a quick learner. God knows how many times I heard that in my job, okay? Never in my life have I seen a job, help wanted ad that says must be a quick learner and a hard worker. Those are the skills they're looking for. Doesn't matter, okay? But what are they bringing? I can do this. I'm a big, strong guy. I can split wood. I've got no problem being out in the rain, or I mean, if they can't tell you what specifically something they can offer that you can hold them to, you don't want them. But a lot of it's going to be a gut feeling. Is this person somebody I would trust my life with, and I'm willing to give up some of what I've stocked for them. How can we avoid the CBDC ESG? This is where, again, you see so many people talking about an alternate economy. I'm still a believer it's not going to happen. Okay. It's certainly not going to happen soon. Okay. They can talk about this social credit score crap all they want, but unless the people buy into it, and by the people, I don't mean half. Okay. It doesn't work. Unless everybody buys into it, or almost everybody buys into it, it doesn't fly. Look at COVID, for example. 2/3 of the people got shot. 1/3 of the people didn't. How's that working out? Okay. Were they able to get their 70%, 80%, 90% efficacy, yada, yada, yada? No. Okay. Were they able to take complete control? No. If you only have 2/3 of the country that's willing to do this CBDC, and now you have farmers that say, sorry, I only take dollars. Sorry, I only take silver and gold. I don't take CBDC. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have two separate, but we need your food. Then pay me in dollars. I don't have any dollars. I only have this digital crap. Then you better be going and change it for dollars somewhere. It's going to be an alternate economy. That's how we stop it. Tammy Eaker, now that the fun is over, how's the pond doing? The rain last night helped. It's got it up. The rain we're supposed to get tonight should do wonders. I'm guessing we're going to have enough water to get it all the way around the island. So that should be good. So if I can get that much, that's my goal. Because once I get water all the way around, then I can put the second coat of sealant in there, which will then seal the entire bottom for sure, because then the water will be able to help it go. It's not just dry waiting for water. And we're getting there. I need water. East Tennessee has been a severe/extreme drought all summer. So that's been my problem. One more, and we will call it a night. Why do you think we don't need Trump? If not Trump, then who? Bolton? Bolton. Bolton's got as much chance of becoming president as I do, okay? And I'm not running. Uh, Again, I've said many times, DeSantis right now looks like the probable candidate. However, we're 2 years out. And like I said, you go back to 2014 and Trump wasn't even a sniffle at that point, and Ben Carson was the hot topic. He was going to be the next Republican, and by the time Trump came in, that was it. We don't know who's going to be yet. Somebody could come out of the sheer blue. Right now, you'd say that it's DeSantis, but that doesn't mean that that's where it's going to be. I can't tell you who. I don't know who. It could be somebody you never even thought of. Chances are it will be if it's not DeSantis. Trump's losing his base. That's the problem. I mean, too much of this, suspend the Constitution, too much of this. I still want to relitigate 2020. 2020's over, okay? We're already more than halfway through, or nearly halfway through Biden's term. Let's focus on the future because we can't change the past. The Democrats want to rewrite the past, okay? And everybody calls them idiots. Trump wants to relitigate the past. It doesn't matter. We don't have a time machine. We can't go back, okay? We got to worry about going forward. Let's worry about 2024. 2020 is over. End of story. That's why, Trump is not a savior, guys. Did he have great policies? Yes. Can somebody else implement those exact same policies? Yep. Okay. Trump wasn't the only one who is America first. Certainly. 70 some odd thousand of us that voted for him too that believe the same way. Like I said, do I think he did a great job as president? Yes. Do I think his time has passed? Probably. My opinion. If he's the nominee, will I vote for him? Yup. Okay. My bigger question was, who's going to be on the primary ballot? I'm going to have to figure that one out when we know who's on the primary ballot. But I would tell you this, it ain't going to be John Bolton. It ain't going to be Brian Kemp. And it ain't going to be, Larry Hogan. I'm running for president. It ain't going to be Kanye West. Okay. You can run all you want. You don't have a rat's ass chance in hell of making it anywhere. But hey, if you want to piss away money, go ahead. So, all right, guys, have a good Tuesday evening. Hope it rains like hell tonight. Have a good one. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.